Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dynamite review for the 28th of May 2021. For a go home show to a pay per view, this was weak, in my opinion. There were good things on the show, but to be fair, a lot of things on this show that didn't necessarily belong on a go home show for a pay per view. You could probably throw it into a decent match. Show has a new camera setup uh, with an expanded crowd, obviously, because of the restrictions being released due to the pandemic. Um, anyway, so crowd is certainly hot throughout. Darby Allin with Sting defeats Cesar Bononi with Peter Avalon, JD Drake, and Ryan Nemeth. Bononi obviously uses his power early, sends him around, it sends Darby Allin around the ring, sends him to the ramp on the outside before tossing him into the ring with a near fall. Allin counters a suplex into a hanging sleeper. Bononi gets to the ropes finally. Um, then there's a bunch of slaps to the back of the head and a stunner by Allin. And he hits the coffin drop for a quick victory. I mean, I like the fact they put Darby Allin on the show. I think he belongs. I think he is probably up there with MJF and Adam Page as top three talents that they have made with the AEW company so far that weren't already, and I would say they're bigger stars to me from Get than Kenny Omega or the Bucks. I think the Bucks and Kenny Omega both are stars, but I think they're only stars with the internet crowd. I think these other people are more than that. Anyway, post match, Allen calls out Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Basically says, "Let's do this tonight." They walk out, and the crowd is hot against them. Scorpio Sky tells the crowd to grow up. Um, they basically say that this will be the end of Darby Allin at Double or Nothing and the beginning of their legends. Um, so then there's an attack from the stable of the Wingman, which is Benoni's stable. Certainly not a fan of that. It's goofy, it's pointless, and too many stables. Page and Sky return and lock Allen in a choke, and Sky is about to end Sting's leg. Dark Order runs out, makes the save. That's fine, but why is Sting being helped by the Dark Order? Cody Rhodes, Anthony Ogogo weigh in, hosted by Paul White, aka the former Big Show. Um, he pumps up the crowd pretty easily. Ogogo is joined by the factory. QT Marshall asks the crowd to show respect to his man. They introduce the American Dream, Cody Rhodes, and he's joined by his trainees. The whole trainee thing is just goofy, too many bodies. Cody weighs in. Uh, Wright has a tough time getting the scale to work. He calls Cody 218 pounds, and then there's a USA chant from the crowd. I'm sorry, nationalism to me makes people slow. No matter what country you're from, that's just a personal opinion of mine, nothing more, nothing less. Anyway, Ogogo is weighs in at 1 pound more than Cody, and Wright asks about to read the ruling. Marshall interrupted to point out Ogogo is heavier, ensuring he'll win at Double or Nothing. He poses for the crowd in the corner, and Cody did the same. There's pop, and ultimately, video package hypes the Stadium Stampede. Jericho, MJF, and media members speak. We're told to expect the unexpected. Not a fan. Anyway, camera cuts backstage. Powerhouse Hobb brawling with Christian Cage. Both are participants in Sunday's useless Casino Battle Royal concept, and Christian is supposed to wrestle later tonight. Christian nails Hobbs with a bar and sends him into some boxes. Taz joins commentary for the following match: Hangman Page with Joey versus Joey Janela with Sonny Kiss. Why is Sonny Kiss out there in a heel role? It's a backward step for Kiss. Honestly, when Joey Janela gets let go from this company, I will literally have streamers and throw a party. Um, basic stalemate early. Paige nails a couple chops on Janela. Snap suplex for Paige and sends Janela to the floor. Janela avoids a dive and hits a thrust kick. Paige comes back, crossbody turns into a fallaway slam. Decent move there. Janela takes over, sends Paige into the buckle, leading to a commercial because still we don't know how to book wrestling matches to where we don't need to take commercials in the middle. We come back and Paige clotheslines Janela all the way to the floor. They fight on the apron. Paige hits a springboard clothesline and plancha. Paige is bleeding from the mouth, which isn't a good look. Paige then goes for the Deadeye. Janela rolls through. Paige crashes Janela with a boot, and then Janela sends Paige into the corner. Snap suplex German before landing a diving elbow for a close near fall. Paige then is busted open on the top of his forehead. Janela goes for the Death Valley driver. Paige hits a discus forearm and a pop-up powerbomb and a lariat for the win. At least the right guy won. Post-match, Taz interrupts Paige's celebration, brings up Brian Cage. Paige tells Taz to go away. Paige then erupts from it all, and then Cage basically goes around, but maybe he's a skunk, and then they demand Cage face him like a man. Cage said he didn't need their help, and he'd see Paige on Sunday. Clunky segment that didn't need to happen. John Moxley and Eddie Kingston promo, but we cut to commercial before it starts. Moxley says it's time to get serious. He said he and Kingston are a great team, and then he trusts Kingston with his life. He then said Kingston is back from war, and they're going to war for the tag team championships. Bucks may be a well-oiled machine, but Moxley and Kingston are pit bulls, and they're going to make the Bucks quit. I'd actually like to see Moxley and Kingston win the tag belts here. Kingston said that Moxley and he speak for the underdogs. They'll be VPs when they win, potentially. Anyway, Orange Cassidy responds to Kenny Omega's offer to step out of the title deal. Shivani's about ready to bring out Orange Cassidy, but Pac interrupts. He then sends Shivani away. Orange basically says that, or it's said that Orange will be relevance. And Pac basically says that he's going to win. He says Pac basically says that he calls the reign of Omega pathetic. I tend to agree with this. Callis on the big screen interrupts Pac, calling him a dangerous and soulless and sociopathic person. And then we see Omega hit a cheap shot. But there's a running drop kick by Pac on Omega. Good Brothers come out and beat down Pac until the Lucha Brothers come out to even the odds. Omega and Pac are all in the ring, and Omega goes for the one-winged angel. Orange's music plays, and they come out the best friends. He pulls a note out from Omega, and then it's a signed contract by Omega and Callis. Orange drops Omega with the Orange Punch and goes to pick up the championship. Pac stops him and goes for a powerbomb. Orange counters and hits an Orange Punch, leaving freshly squeezed chance as the segment ends. I wouldn't be opposed to Orange Cassidy picking up the belt for like a 1-week run. I think having a champion who has been established on national TV by this company as a whole would be good. Jade Cargill with Mark Sterling defeats Kylan King just to fill the women's championship quota, or women's match quota, I guess. Test of strength, start the match. Cargill overpowers and nails her with a clothesline. King tries a running crossbody. But then we see a power slam as we go into commercial break. Cargill nips up and sends King to the floor. And then Jade Cargill hits the Jaded for the win. Nice enough match. I wish they were doing more with Cargill here. Lance Archer and Jake Roberts speak. Roberts begins addressing Dante Martin, who could win the TNT Championship. Archer wanted to call out Miro, saying at Double or Nothing he'd be the new champion. And then we go to Miro defeating Dante Martin, as would be expected. Miro dominates from the opening bell. He turns his back, and Miro gets hit with a jawjacker, and Miro tries to come back with a splash. Dante Martin avoids it and hits a moonsault press, but gets a 1 count. Miro tries to send him out of the ring. Dante flips out and comes back with a springboard dropkick for another 1 count. Dante looks to climb the ropes, but Miro cuts him off and brings him back in the hard way with a vertical suplex. Miro follows up with a kick and calls for the game over and gets the win in about 3 to 4 minutes. Post-match, Miro wouldn't release the hold. Archer and Roberts come out. Miro's fairy tale would be over at Double or Nothing. Miro comes back and tells Roberts to shut up. He's ready for a fight. And then Archer comes in and hits a choke slam. They brawl, and Roberts is talking through it. I don't know. Anyway, Akira Shida Championship reign anniversary. She's a 1-year champion. Shivani hosts this, presents the new women's championship belt. Shida said that when she won the title, there were no fans tonight. They're here. She's proud to share the moment with them because the title is for the fans. Dr. Britt Baker interrupts, congratulates Shida on the reign. Baker talks to the back and says she's the face of the women's division because when she wins the title on Sunday, she's going to be the face of the whole new era. Like Austin 316, the new era is going to be DMD. Not a bad promo, I guess. During commercial break, Sammy Guevara did a poster board messages. And then Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page defeat the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. At least the right team won. I don't understand why. Grayson and Uno are on national television. I never will. Sky is arrogant at the start, as one would expect. Grayson comes out of nowhere and hits a DDT, and then Grayson dominates Page until Sky sweeps the leg and takes him out with a slingshot cutter. Into the commercial break. Again, bad timing. Grayson fights back with some strikes and escapes TKO and spikes Sky with a Uranagi. Sky then is able to tag Page. Grayson lands a backflip kick and on both opponents, and they buying him time to tag. Uno hits a Rana on Page and a flatliner on Sky before getting the assisted neckbreaker on Page. Dark Order using teamwork, and then we see a belly-to-belly suplex on Page, and then they hit a combo cannonball 450 splash for near fall. Sky goes after the eyes of his opponent and hits a heel hook, and then there's an ego edge on Uno for the win. Page basically says he's about to speak, but he gets interrupted by Darby Allin, and there's a bunch of people. A bunch of people are all wearing Sting masks. Allin attacks Page as Sky dispatches the line of Stings till a very tall one comes out, and it's Sting himself. I didn't like this segment. I think it's goofy, it's comedy, and it's useless. Then we go for the full card of Double or Nothing. On the buy-in, we have Serena Deeb versus Riho, Casino Battle Royal for a future championship match, Cody Rhodes and Anthony Ogogo, Hangman Page and Brian Cage, Sting and Darby Allin, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page in a tag match, Miro versus Archer, Stadium Stampede, Pinnacle versus Inner Circle. If Inner Circle loses, they have to break up. Shida versus Baker, Young Bucks and Moxley and Kingston, and Omega versus Pac and Orange Cassidy. Then we go to the final segment. I wouldn't put a final segment as a talking segment. I think it's stupid, but they do what they do here. Bischoff is introduced as the Master of Ceremonies. 25 years ago, he basically introduces the New World Order at this time. He brings out another great faction, the Inner Circle, who came out for the first time to Judas' entrance in a long time. Jericho's wearing an arm cast and says he feels good enough to go. He's surrounded by fans again. He's happy with that. He thanks Bischoff for everything he's done. And they play a video package of Inner Circle history. There's a good chance Santana speaks, and he says that he remembers when the Inner Circle formed. They put the company on their backs, which I don't think. They did through a pandemic, which doesn't make sense to me. And now they're here for the return of the best fans in wrestling. That part makes sense. This is one of their last dances. They wouldn't have it any other way. And Ortiz just basically says this is beautiful. Hager didn't want highlights of the good times. He wanted hard times, and he wants hard men because that's where moments should be celebrated. Guevara says that even through everything together, when he quit the Inner Circle, he didn't like that at all. He says he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that never happens again. Jericho's hesitant first because he doesn't want to play well with others. But with these guys, he's natural, and he doesn't give a dang about anybody else or anything else except putting on great performances. I hate the word performances. It makes it look like theater. They're going to do it again at Stadium Stampede, and if they lose, they'll go down in a blaze of glory. He ended with the words "I love you." MJF interrupts on the video board. He makes fun of them and says he's excited for Stadium Stampede. Before revealing Dean Malenko has been beaten up, he demanded that they get out on the football field if they wanted to save him. Inner Circle runs out to save Malenko, but they're ambushed by the Pinnacle. Everyone brawls. Pinnacle maintains an advantage. FDR puts Santana and Ortiz through tables with dual stuffed pile drivers. MJF closes the show with the when you're in the Pinnacle, you're always on top mentality. Not a bad deal, but at the same time, a weak ending to the show. I hope the pay-per-view is good, however.